Merits of government company. Point number 1, easy formation. Why? Because just we have to get ourselves registered under the Companies Act, and the rules and the provisions of the Companies Act has to be followed. Understood? So the formation is very easy. Point number 2, administrative autonomy. Administrative autonomy means there is an administrative freedom. Whatever decisions they have to take, they can take as per their own wish. There is no interference from anyone. Point number 3 says collaboration. Now, collaboration means working with someone for a purpose. So over here, if the company, that means if the government company is wanting any kind of new managerial skill or new technical skill, they can join hands with the private enterprises and start their work. Now, what will come under private enterprises? This we have already learned. Partnership is there, joint stock company, cooperative societies. Remember those forms of private enterprises? Those. So if the company wants to avail the managerial skill, avail the technical know-how, then they can always collaborate with the private enterprises. And the last point says efficient staff. Why efficient staff? Because the government company have their own rules and regulations of recruitment. Now, as because they have their own rules and regulations, they employ people who are professionally expert, people who have a good knowledge, and as because they are so professionally expert, they are offered better salary. That is why these highly specialized people, highly technical people, they form a part of the management, and automatically the management becomes efficient. Understood? So that was about the merits of government company. Easy formation, administrative freedom, freedom for collaboration, and efficient management or efficient staff. Coming to the demerits. What are the demerits? Let's have a look over here. First point says political interference. Political interference? Question may arise in your mind that, ma'am, just now we learned that there is administrative autonomy, there is a freedom. Then how can you say that there is political interference? So let's understand this point properly. There is political interference. Why? Because what is this company actually? This company's more than half of the shares, that means at least 51% of the share is held by the government. So there will be interference by the government people, by the ministers, and by the politicians. And this is the reality. That is why it is a demerit. Understood? It suffers from interference from government officials, from ministers, and from the politicians. Coming to point number 2, it says autonomy on paper only. Autonomy on paper only means freedom on paper only. Arey, this point is also contradicting what we learned in merits. Let's read what it is saying. It says, in reality, there is not much operational flexibility. Very important. That means whatever flexibility or whatever freedom they are actually talking about, it is not happening in reality. In actual practice, what happens? The government being the major shareholder. Why major shareholder? Because they hold 51% of the shares. Understood? So major part of the company is held by the government. So government is the larger shareholder, and that is why what they do, they dictate their own terms and conditions. So whatever freedom or whatever flexibility these government companies should have actually got, they do not get it in reality. In reality, what happens? There is interference by the political people, by the political parties, At the same time, the government also influences or dictates their own terms and conditions, that you do this way, no, do not work this way, you do this, you do that. Understood? So this happens in reality, and that is why it is put as a disadvantage over here. Everything is on paper, but in reality, if we come, nothing is there. Point number 3, it says board packed with government representatives. Very, very important. Board means we are talking here about the board of directors. And just now we learned that the board of directors are chosen by the government. Remember, in the features we learned that the board of directors are nominated by the government and other shareholders. So who will the government choose? The government will choose its own people. So what is the government doing over here? Those 4-5 people who they have to nominate as the board of directors, they choose their own representatives. Now those representatives are becoming a part of the board of directors. Okay, fine. Now what is the work of those board of directors? They have to control the company, they have to manage the company. Now, as because they are the representatives of the government, what they do, they are more interested in pleasing the government rather than doing something good for the company. They make the company work so that the profit will be to the government and not to the public. Understood? The board of directors in the government company, they are appointed by the government. So these directors always try to please the government rather than working on the management of the company, rather than improving the efficiency of the company. So that is why this is another a great disadvantage of the government company. Understood? Now let's have a look onto the suitability. Suitability means the places where a government company is more or less suitable. Point number 1, where government wants to control company in the private sector. Now what is the meaning of this point? Understand. Suppose there are 4-5 companies. This whole lot is the private sector, and in the private sector there are 2 companies, X and Y. Now there is the government. The government is wanting to control this X Limited. So how to control this? This is a part of the private sector. What this government will do? This government will capture 51% of the shares of this company, paid up share capital. The moment the government captures minimum 51% of the paid up share capital of X company, automatically X company will become a government company, thereby coming under the control of the government. Understood? Now point number 2 says where collaboration with the private sector is needed. So where the government finds that okay, I might need to get into collaboration with private company, it can go for government company. And last one, where the projects require government funds. So there are various projects going on in the country, like formulation of dams, bridges, roads. Okay, that time if any company is wanting to get funds from the government, definitely they can prefer going for a government company form of organization. Understood? So this was all about the government company. What is a government company? I repeat, minimum 51% of the paid up share capital of that particular company, if it is held by the central government or by the state government or both of them partly or in a sharing way, then that company becomes a government company. So that is all for today. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.